Hello everybody and welcome to our webinar about Hofstra Continuing Education's Fall 2012 writing courses. This is Debbie Honoroff. I'm the program director and I have in my office with me 6 of our instructors, and we have one actually that's going to be calling in remotely. So we're going to go around and we're going to talk about each of our courses, and then we're going to allow time for some questions. So if you do have a question, please type it in on the right hand side of your screen, and we will try to get around to all the questions. Okay, just to start off, we have many new courses for the fall, and we have course continuations of courses that have been popular in the past, and we're continuing with those. And we also have some courses that are a continuation of a course. For example, a novel writing course might also have a second course, like a sequel. And we have different tracks. So we have writing and publishing fundamentals, fiction, nonfiction, children's, poetry. We also have some high school classes during the summer, so that's something that you should keep in mind. And we have our monthly writers' salons, which are free, open to the public, and you can look online, ce.hofstra.edu/writing, and that will take you to our writer salons. We do have our next one on October 1st, and you'll hear more about that at the end of this presentation. So now I'd like to introduce Sarah Lee Rosenberg, who is one of our longtime writing instructors, and she's going to talk a little bit about some of the courses that she is teaching this fall.
Thank you, Debbie. Hi, everyone. I've been teaching novel writing courses at Hofstra now. I think this is the start of my 5th year, and it's been a great experience for me. Hopefully as great of an experience for the students, and I think that it's working out well because so many of them come back and continue to learn with me. I am teaching 2 6-week courses this fall. The first one is called Get That Novel Started, which actually started on Tuesday, but if you're still interested in taking a more intensive class, you can join along. And the whole idea behind that class is to obviously to give you some fundamentals for fiction, novel writing, short stories, and to also help you build your confidence, because with new writers, sometimes the biggest problem is just that they feel doubtful all the time about what they're working on, or they just have so many questions. So we cover a lot of ground in that course. It's a lot of fun, and there is an opportunity to share your work through workshopping, which is the opportunity to read your material to other students and with me, and then we discuss it. I also teach Keep That Novel Going, and that starts September 27th. That also is a 6-week class, and that is for writers who have a work in progress, a manuscript, whether it's the first or second, but it's for students who are primarily looking for a little bit more higher level of instruction and critiquing as well. There's more of an emphasis on workshopping, where you again read your work in progress, your scenes, and we discuss it and ask questions, and hopefully give you some tools to to further the story along and even cross the finish line. In addition to these classes, I'm also teaching 3 workshops. These are 2-hour evening workshops, and the first one coming up is September 20th, and it's about helping you find your genre and developing your hook. This is a new class for us, and I'm hoping that we get a good response to it. And it is again for new writers who are writing fiction and really not sure how to, where they fit in all the different genres that are kind of commercial categories, if you will. So whether you're interested in writing mystery or thriller or paranormal or romance or chick lit or what have you, we talk about each of these genres and the kind of parameters for them. And at the same time, we'll also talk about how to develop a hook. And a hook is something that every writer knows is very critical to helping them understand as a writer what is unique about their particular story. And so we'll work on that. And then after that, on Wednesday, October 3rd, I teach a 2-hour workshop called Dead on Dialogue, which, again, it's all about dialogue, and it's all about, kind of offering some skills and techniques so that your dialogue sounds dead on. And then I finish up, oh, I forgot, September 24th, That's Such a Character. And this is a character development workshop, and I've developed my own methods and just strategies for developing, meaningful, three-dimensional, interesting characters that are memorable and have a lot to say. So all of these classes we move quickly. We cover a lot of ground, and I hope you can join me and get your novel going.
Yeah, I just wanted, we have a mistake up there. December 26th has been moved to September 24th. So just want to note that.
Okay.
Our next instructor is Ellen Meister, who has also been teaching for us for several years.
Hi there. Like Debbie says, I'm Ellen Meister, and like Sarah Lee, I'm a published novelist. I have 4 novels published now, 2 with HarperCollins and 2 with Putnam, and I'm very excited to have joined the Hofstra family pretty recently. I love teaching here, and I'm going to tell you about some of the classes that I have coming up this season. So, okay. The first one you see on the screen there is called How to Structure Your Novel in 3 Acts. That's a single session 2-hour seminar. And the reason I wanted to teach this particular class is because I think that structuring a novel is a bear. To me, it's one of the hardest parts of the whole process. So I spent an awful lot of time figuring out structure. I've read books on it. I've developed my own methods of breaking down the structure of a novel. And so for me, it's really exciting to sort of deconstruct that and share it with students. And I think it's an absolutely terrific class, and I hope some of you are interested in taking it. I think that in one 2-hour session, you get an awful lot out of it in terms of how to structure and real practical hands-on steps for structuring your novel. Okay, I also teach a class called How to Turn Your Big Idea into a Finished Novel. This is a 6-session class that really goes through the whole gamut for anybody who's recently started or has a novel in the works. And here you sort of get all of my tips and secrets. Real nitty-gritty hands-on stuff, things that I've learned about character development and plot structure and dialogue, and I even give glimpses and insights into what agents and editors might be looking for. So there's a lot packed into those 6 sessions. So that's How to Turn Your Big Idea into a Finished Novel. And the last one that you see on the screen is called Polish Your Prose. And that's a real hands-on workshop class for anybody who's working on something. And what we do is we go around the room and we critique each other's in a real copy editing kind of way. And what's great about this class is that you not only learn from having your work critiqued by both the instructors and the other students, but you really learn from hearing the other students' work get critiqued, and also putting your own 2 cents in, because it's a very valuable thing and it's a very different way of looking at writing once you start deconstructing somebody else's writing. So I think this is valuable on a lot of levels, and I hope that if you have something that you want to polish and copy edit and work on, that you'll consider Polish Your Prose, which is a 3-session class starting on December 1st. And that's it for me.
And I just want to point out that we have a whole bunch of these 2-hour really intensive workshops. They're 2 hours, they're $59. It's a great opportunity if you don't have a lot of time to spend to really learn a lot about a particular topic. So I encourage you to take those. And How to Structure Your Novel in 3 Acts is actually being given twice, once on a Sunday and once on a Saturday, and hopefully you will be able to attend. Okay, next we have Kelly Simmons. Kelly is a new instructor, but she's going to be teaching a workshop that we think is going to be really exciting. So, Kelly?
Thank you, Debbie. As Debbie has said, I'm relatively new to the instructor group here. I am a former as well as a current CE student, and since joining the CE program, I've become a published poet, and prior to joining the creative writing program, I had just published in scientific journals. So this really helped get my creative juices flowing. And the idea for the 2-hour workshop that I'm teaching, it's actually offered once during the week on October 4th and again on October 6th, which is Saturday, came from tools that I had picked up in several classes that I had taken. I had taken a memoir class and a poetry class, proof editing class, another class about creative writing, and in each of those classes the instructors had us create lists of words that were very powerful, whether they were verbs or homonyms or heteronyms or antonyms and synonyms. I learned about onomatopoeia, and I realized this is a really simple and effective way to improve your writing. And then I had the realization that when we communicate with ourselves or with others, the majority of the time we're doing that through words. So whether I'm thinking to myself or I'm writing an email to someone or a text or I'm reading a sign, it's all words. And so one way to make my writing more effective is to harness the power of words. And one of the ways I can do that, I realized, is by having these caches of words, my own personal stash of these words, so that when I'm sitting down to create an email in the office, or I'm trying to craft a four-line poem in only 20 words, I have the list of the most powerful words that at some other point in time I've thought about. So when it's crunch time and I need something powerful that's going to be effective and make my email or my communication stand out, there it is at my fingertips. And so that's where the idea of this workshop came from. And I'm really excited to share this with other people, because I've always loved teaching, and I'm very excited to be here with these instructors. If any of you have the chance, take their courses, read their written works. They are amazing. And for the value of these classes, there's others out there, but they are not the value or the quality. So I look forward to seeing you in October, and thank you.
Okay, our next instructor is Janice Levy, who also has been teaching for us for a while, and also teaches in our Summer Writers program, if any of you have taken that. And she will tell you about her very exciting class.
Hi, I'm Janice Levy. A famous baseball player, Pete Rose, was asked how he felt about playing the sport. He said, "I'd walk through hell in a gasoline suit to play baseball." If you ask me what I felt about writing, I wouldn't go that far, but I can say that writing is my happy place. It's one of my favorite things in the world to do. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the author of 20 children's books, with a few more under contract. I also write adult fiction. My short stories have been published in many magazines and anthologies, and I've won several national writing contests. I also teach in Hofstra's Summer Master's Program in July. The course I'm teaching now is called I Can Really Write, an Introduction to Creative Writing, which could also be called Don't Hire a Designer Until You've Hired a Plumber. The course is for someone who has always wanted to write but never has. Beginners are welcome. It starts on Wednesday, October 17th. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. and goes for 6 sessions. Come with a notebook and pen, ready to begin the exciting trip of expressing yourself and using your imagination. We'll focus on the basic elements of writing, such as dialogue and characterization. You'll use your past and present lives for inspiration. Joyce Carol Oates described a writer as having an affinity for risk, danger, mystery, a certain derangement of the soul, a craving for distress, the propensity for insomnia. And the writer Hunter S. Thompson said, "I hate to advocate drugs, alcohol, violence, or insanity to anyone, but they've always worked for me." Well, that's not going to be my class. I'm not big on suffering. I'd like to help you make the writing process pleasurable, not painful. I think a writer is just someone who writes. So I say in my class, go for it. Just have fun. John Cheever wrote in his underwear. Ben Franklin wrote in the bathtub. Emily Dickinson wrote on the back of envelopes. Hemingway never sat down. In my course, you can wear your pajamas and stand on your head. Whatever your style is, you'll just do it. Whether you want to write for children or adults or just from yourself, we'll go from getting that idea to putting it into words. We'll stretch and strengthen your writing muscles, get that toe in the door, and try for the whole foot. For some taking the class, the goal might be publication. I'll go over the process of submitting a manuscript and how not to crumble when you get that first sledgehammer rejection. For others taking the class, the goal will simply be to take those ideas you've always had rattling around in your head and finally toss them out like dice. Still others will come with the questions, where do I begin? How do I even get that idea? We'll explore brainstorming and free writing and silencing that inner critic, that voice in your head that tells you your hips are too big, you should be doing the laundry or getting a real job instead of doing your writing, which, by the way, stinks. I often ask my students why they don't write. This is what one said. I don't write because I don't make the time. I can call it laziness, but I'm afraid of failing. And what's the point of making myself feel lousy? I get discouraged easily, I never complete anything, and I give up. I can't sit still. I feel under pressure to write something terrific. I am so critical of myself. What if I mess up? What if I have nothing to say? It's safer just to keep everything in my head. Maybe this sounds familiar to you? F. Scott Fitzgerald said, all good writing is swimming underwater and holding your breath. In my class, you'll jump off the diving board and take the plunge. And I'll be waiting there with a towel just in case you get water up your nose.
Thank you, Janice. And now Mindy Wolfley, who has been teaching the business writing course and will be teaching it again this fall.
Thank you, Debbie. My name is Mindy Wolfley, and I am a marketing, public relations, and communications professional, and I'm an entrepreneur. And this course came out of my realization that people are not skilled in writing succinctly and in a way that presents them well in the business world. So whether you work for a not-for-profit or you work in a for-profit entity, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're the administrative assistant or you're the CEO or everything in between, the communications that you present in writing define you and they define your company. This will be the third time I'm teaching this class, and it always has a great response. Sometimes people are better writers than they think they are, and other times they say, you know, I never thought of that. One of the things we concentrate on are emails, since they are the primary way we communicate in the workplace now, and we distinguish how your emails for work are a whole lot different than your emails to your friends. They're a whole lot different than your Facebook postings. We talk about business letters, whether they are traditional letters that go through the mail or they are business letters that come through an email. One of the exercises we do is we write our professional profiles, because what does everybody know about? You write about what you know, and you know about yourself. And it gives you the opportunity to put down in writing something professional about your favorite topic, which is you. We look at terribly written emails. We look at well-written emails. We do everything having to do with grammar and punctuation. And the class is enjoyable. It's participatory. It's not just me standing up there talking at the class. We go over each other's materials. We share what we've written. This is a 4-week class. It's from 6:30 to 8 p.m. the last 2 Thursday nights in October and the first 2 Thursday nights in November. And you'll see that within those 6 hours we cram in a whole lot of learning. You take away many, many printed materials that will help you in the future when the class is over. And I promise you, you won't be disappointed. This is a great way to polish who you are in writing and make yourself and your business look absolutely the way you want people to know you. And I see I didn't spell my own name right there.
Okay, thank you, Mindy. And now we're going to hear from Pete Vanderberg, who is coming into us from his home. And Pete, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you. Yeah, so Pete, go ahead.
All right, terrific. Happy to join you via satellite. Hello, everyone. A little bit about myself, very briefly. I've been writing for really most of my life. I took an MFA in creative writing from Queens College in the City University of New York. I am a published poet. Poetry is my sort of prime love, but I do have a passion for all creative writing. And there's quite a variety of classes here offered this fall. September 15th, the haiku workshop is a one-day, 3-hour sort of kind of a haiku day where we will explore the past, and present opportunities that haiku offers, some classic poems, and we will write our own. We'll also explore a few related forms to haiku. One is called haibun, which is a bit of prose, a little paragraph, and then an attached haiku, and haiga, which is pairs haiku with visual art. So I'm actually going to have the participants doing a little bit of drawing in class. The Flash Fiction Workshop, which begins October 9th, is a 3-session class, 2 hours, Tuesday nights. And Flash Fiction is a sort of very exciting genre. It's not without its own history. Hemingway wrote Flash Fiction. Wordsworth actually has a poem that's called a prosaic poem. So, it's a form with a past, but it enjoys some exciting new opportunities today. Flash Fiction is being more and more published in literary journals, and with any luck, some of my own students will get some of their work published. Basically, the definition of Flash Fiction varies, but I'm going to be using a word count of between 100 and 250 words. So trying to actually tell a story in one page, a complete story that engages the reader really in the first sentence, takes them on a little journey, a bit of a high and low of plot, but then at the end feels both complete but also leaves the reader sort of guessing and thinking and in some sense participating in the process themselves. So, and then finally we have Exploring Poetic Forms, which at the risk of sounding dry, there are forms, poetry forms that have rules and structure, and we will be exploring at least 4 in particular: the sonnet, the ghazal, which is a Persian form, the sestina, and the ekphrastic. We'll certainly read some traditional examples and be familiar with the rules and structures of each form, but I'm really excited about the way in which my students might try to bend these rules and even break them in ways that can retain the form itself but also become something new and very personal. All the courses are open to writers of any experience level. Certainly beginners are welcome. And I'll be engaging in the exercises with the students. We'll all be sharing our work together, encouraging each other and providing advice to each other, to make us all better writers and more interested poets. So I hope to see some of you there.
Okay, thank you, Pete. One of our instructors, Sandra Martenfeld, is going to be joining us shortly, and I'm going to skip over. We'll come back to her. I am actually teaching one course this semester. I am also a writer. I'm a published journalist, and I write a monthly column for Long Island Woman called FYI, which is a collection of little blurbs about various news and events and happenings. And so every month I have to take all the different press releases and other emails and other correspondence, and I have to whittle it down to the essence in as few words as possible because I do have a word limit. And it's challenging, but it's also fun, and I thought it would be interesting to do a class about that because I think especially in today's fast-paced world with, you know, emails and blogs and Facebook postings, you need to do that. You need to know how to write in the fewest number of words possible and still get your point across well. It's sort of the opposite of creative writing because you want to whittle it down instead of be expansive. But I think it will be a course that will be very helpful for people, especially in the business world. And I look forward to working with you in my class. While we're waiting for Sandra, I'm going to go to some questions that we have, and the first one is from Olive Grant Wilson, who has got her paralegal certificate with us a few years ago, and she's asking if there's a class or workshop on writing reports and replying to memos without writing an epistle, just getting the point across without getting personal or offensive.
Olive, we cover that in the business writing course. Part of what we do is looking at what you have written in the past and how we can fine-tune that to write it better now. We do speak about addressing potentially difficult situations. For example, when somebody has a customer who is complaining or dissatisfied with the way a situation was handled or a product purchase, we discuss how to write a civilized response to that where you still get your point across but you're not duking it out with the other person. So you may find the overall business writing course which would help you when, as a paralegal, I know you come across quite a few confrontational situations within the law. I have been a law firm marketer for over 10 years. I'm not doing law firm marketing right now, but I'm familiar with your workplace and the kind of work that you do. So I think this might be very useful for you.
Okay, we do have one question about the blogging course, and I'm hoping Sandra gets here any moment. We know she was going to be late, so she's due like right now, and we'll wait and let her answer that. But there was a question about, in the novel writing classes, do you talk at all about the publishing process?
We touch on it a little in my class. This is Sarah Lee Rosenberg. I teach Get That Novel Started and Keep That Novel Going. So obviously, you know, the question of publishing is something that is of great interest to everyone. How do you get an agent? You know, what's happening with self-publishing? You know, that sort of thing. So we do touch on it a little bit, but honestly, in my classes, it's mostly about technique and skill building. And because if you don't write the best possible book that you can, the best possible novel, you're going to have a much harder time getting the interest of editors and agents.
This is Ellen Meister. My classes also tend to focus more on craft than the business end of publishing. However, in how to turn your big idea into a finished novel, we do finish up the course with a little bit of an exploration of what it is that agents are looking for and how to sort of get started with the whole agent querying process, the whole literary agent querying process. And I think that, you know, in terms of novel writing, you know, Sarah Lee and I have both been in the trenches for quite some time. So if anybody in our classes has any questions about how things work, I think we're both really quite well equipped to give you some real firsthand, front row kind of experience and insights into that.
Okay, just a couple of other things I wanted to talk about. Some additional fall classes. The instructors could not make it to the webinar, but we do offer classes in beginning and intermediate screenwriting, and those are starting, I believe, this weekend. They're already filling up. They're definitely running. So again, you can find information at our website. We have, oh, Sandra just came in, so I'm going to let her get settled. I'll finish this list and then she will talk about her courses. Writing a children's book, Gina Shaw has been running this. It's a writer's workshop. She's been running it for several years, and people just keep coming back and coming back and coming back. It's a wonderful workshop. If you do have a book that you're starting or halfway through or finished, it's a great way to get feedback and to workshop with your fellow writers. There's a course, 5 Steps to Launching a Successful Writing Business. That's not, no, it's, yeah, that's Ina Borcaruso, again, who could not be here. She's away. That's a new course. Weaving Personal Stories into Fiction, and Everyone Has a Story to Tell, taught by Susie Garber, who I think has been teaching for us the longest out of everybody. And she also has a fan club of students who just keep coming back, and they really love these courses. And the Weaving Personal Stories into Fiction is actually a new course. She has not taught that one before. Everyone Has a Story to Tell. She has. A Guide to English Grammar and Structure. Started out as a 2-hour course. Great evaluations, great reviews, and everyone suggested that it should be longer, so it is now a 4-session course, an hour and a half each, and that's really learning the basic, the nitty-gritty, just improving your basic writing. And then proofreading and copy editing workshop, another very popular course, and Leslie Stern-Abramowitz will be teaching that, and that will be starting in November. And then Ina is also teaching Delivering the Pitch Perfect Query, and that's all about coming up with an idea and then querying it for magazine articles. So I'm going to go back. To Sandra.
Oh, thank you. Hi, my name is Sandra Martenfeld. I've taught at Hofstra for a very long time now. I've spent about 2 decades doing freelance writing in various capacities for web, regional magazines, national magazines, all kinds of things. I'm going to be teaching a couple of classes. The first one is Everything You Need to Know About Blogging, which starts October 14th. And this is a terrific class, whether you want to market a business, you want to brand yourself, you just have something to say and you want people to hear it. This class will give you everything you need to know on how to conceptualize a blog, how to select a topic that's going to work, how to use open source software to create your blog. We'll talk about how to write a blog, the right format of designing your blog, what you need to know about search engine optimization. We'll also talk about how to incorporate social media into the blog, to use it to build a community and to get your word out. And we'll do all sorts of things like that. It's a very elementary class, and we'll talk about monetization as well, because why not make money off your blog? The other class I'm going to be teaching is Writing for the Web, which also starts on October 14th. And this is a broader class. This is for anybody who wants to do any sort of content creation, from whether you want to write articles or you want to write opinion pieces, or do you actually want to write content for a website. So we're going to talk about how you can get a full-time job in that field, how you can get freelance work in that field. We'll talk about the differences between writing for traditional legacy medias and web writing, And again, because it's so important, we'll talk about how you incorporate search engine optimization into your writing so you can get your work noticed, what kind of trends are out there right now for writing for the web, and most importantly, how to find work if this is something that you want to do. The last class I'll be teaching is Make Money Writing Freelance Articles and Memoirs. As you can see, I'm all about the money, monetization, earning money, freelancing, getting work. And that class starts on November 11th. So if you're busy in the first half of the fall, this one's for you. And this will talk a little bit more about traditional media, although we will also concentrate on online platforms. And it'll talk about how to conceptualize an article and how to research an article and how to write different pieces. Specifically in the class, we'll be writing a query, which will be targeting at a regional market. Regional markets are actually much more open to freelance usually than national markets, so it's a really good place to start if you don't have a very fluid freelance career yet. And we will also have a short piece aimed at a market of your choice, so whatever you want you can do, and also a memoir piece. And we'll talk about the differences between those pieces, but more importantly what we're going to really talk about is how to target them, how to market the pieces so you are more likely to sell them. We'll speak a lot about what editors look for, how to research a publication, and really find the place that fits your idea, your work the best. With this class, as the other classes I teach, there's a lot of workshopping, there's a lot of critique, we go back and forth, so you can really come out with polished pieces that you can send out immediately.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sandra. And now we're going to remind you we have our monthly writer salon. It's always the first Monday of the month. So the next one is October 1st at 7 p.m. Get Into Gear, 101 Motivational Tips for Writers, presented by Sarah Lee Rosenberg. I'm going to let her talk about this in a moment. But I just want to let you know, writer salons, they're free, they're open to the public. We do ask that you register ahead of time, and you can do that again by going to ce.hofstra.edu/writing to register, just so we make sure we have enough room because there is limited space. And there's always some kind of writing exercise, which are always a lot of fun, and you get to share them with your fellow writers. And Sarah Lee, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. Thank you, Debbie. I love doing writer salons. I was so glad when Debbie created this as a venue for instructors and readers and writers alike, because it is a great way to get to know other writers. There's a lot of give and take. There is an opportunity to do a writing assignment and share it. And I've participated in several in the last year, and I see how much people get out of it, and of course it's free, so that's the best part. The one that I'm doing on October 1st is really about it is a workshop intended to inspire you as a writer, whatever you're working on, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. It's essentially about how to get out of your own way. As we were saying earlier, that sometimes the biggest problems that writers have is building confidence or just judging their work before it's really ready to be judged. And so I talk about some of those the ways in which we can actually write to our own detriment, and but here are also some very positive ways and exercises that you can do to get you started on brainstorming, and to really kind of again have confidence in the ideas that you want to pursue, and then get to that next level. So I hope you can join us. It's October 1st at 7 p.m.
Okay, so there's some contact information. I am always interested in hearing from our students about what kind of courses they would like us to offer, and we've gotten some really great suggestions. So please keep in touch with me. Call me, email me, and you can call me or email me if you have a question about a particular course, or you want to know which course is the best course for you to take at this point in your writing career. Please keep in touch with me. Tamisha Mills is my assistant. She is also a great resource, so you can call her as well. If there's a course that we are not offering. You can sign up for the wait list, and when the course is available, we will call you and let you know. But probably the most important thing I ask, if you're going to register for a course, please register early. And everyone's shaking their head yes, because if we don't get the requisite number of people for the course, we cancel it. And then if you want to register last minute, it's canceled. So please register as early as possible so that we make sure that all the courses run and we don't disappoint anyone. And with that, I'm going to say thank you to all my instructors. And say thank you to all of you for joining us, and please keep in touch. And this webinar is being recorded, and it will be archived at the site within the next couple of days. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.